Oh, hello. Oh,
Hello, what's
hello.
up? Welcome to Saber
What's
Rattle,
up?
y'all. How are you doing, Miss Metzo?
I am just fine. How are you?
I am okay. We had a great day. Yesterday, not today's Sunday. Right? Yeah, we had a great day yesterday in San Jose at the San Jose Toy Show. This next weekend is your big premiere, my dear. Well, I guess not premiere. You've already been out there now.
Sounds strange. Out there.
You've been out there. You were your first appearance was at the
First
Weekend Blender,
appearance.
where we got
Yes.
to meet our good friend Duran right there in the messenger.
What's up, Duran Duran?
What's up, Duran? So
Good
this
to see
weekend
you.
is going to be your next great premiere at VacaCon. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Say well. We have on Saturday, we have special guests, Cos Bunny cosplayer who will be at the booth, Miss Morgan Sumner. Um, she will be there Saturday, and Sunday will be Carlos Sanchez. So make sure you check out the KCP booth. Make sure you get an autograph from Mets. There's like 10 of them.
Stop it.
I think I'm gonna be at that booth a lot of the day, those days too. Because Eric, my convention manager, and Zayo are gonna be running the KCP booth
You know,
itself. So
yeah. I was getting ready the background music ready for nerdy news, and there's something labeled force, and I'm not sure what it is. And so I think we're gonna have to figure that out later 'cause that makes me giggle. There's something called force, and I don't know what it's for.
uh-oh.
I still have Van's laugh on here though, which is always great.
Well, the laugh track.
Yes,
Yes.
the laugh track. The laugh track. Well, I hope you all are doing well this evening. We've got a fun show ready for you. We've got our flow of the show. We've got a little fun addition to the interview, which has a game kind of involved with it. And then we have our lovely Aaron Sokalski, who is formerly on our show. We miss him a ton, but he's been pursuing his dream and he has done so well. And as premier mommy, like former premier mommy in a sense, I am very proud of my son. But first and foremost, as we always do with our show, what do we have is the nerdy news. So Van has explained to me this week that he'd like to have a little bit more conversation time during the nerdy news. So I have only written a small excerpt and then we will discuss each topic.
Wow, you
So
sound like a college professor.
first and foremost, I'm trying to impress Aaron with my voiceover skills.
Oh, okay.
Okay, first. Two favorite Star Wars bounty hunters are back for Tales of the Underworld. So, Lady Asajj Ventress and her yellow lightsaber are back alongside the infamous quick draw Cade Bane in a new anthology of animated shorts. And this is actually going to be called Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. So, what are your thoughts, Van?
Okay, so my first thoughts are I'm going to give you a pass this time because I know you're not Star Wars integrated, but the name is Cad Bane, and there are
Cad
people
Bane.
in this
What'd I
audience who
say?
you said Cade.
Oh, I wrote it down wrong. I apologize, Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I don't want you to erupt any fights here coming on. We saw what happened at that Chuck E. Cheese.
I do not, but I apologize with all my heart that I
Yeah.
said Cade instead of Cad. My brain was also getting ready to say Bane, and my brain just like said Cade. I totally screwed up any kind of impression I would have made on Aaron tonight. Saying Cade. But that is the first thing. So what are your thoughts on this?
I am super excited. I know there are some of the there's always the negative Nellies, and there's people that are like, oh, Asajj is dead, and they're gonna, but you can see obviously this is going to fit in a particular place in the timeline. We saw Cad Bane get shot by Obi-Wan. Now, of course, we know in the Star Wars movies, just because somebody looks like unless you see them actually die on camera, they could still be alive. So just because he was shot doesn't mean he was dead. But a lot of people are excited for this. I was really excited when I first heard this announced. I was really hoping for my favorite character actually comes from the side Star Wars stuff. It's not even from the main movies. But I was really hoping for Hondo Anaka as one of the two. But if this becomes a series, hopefully we'll get a story of Hondo eventually.
All right. And next on the nerdy news is actually something
Wait,
quite
what are your
sad.
thoughts?
Oh, my thoughts.
This
I
is
have
supposed to be a
never
discussion,
watched.
not a
Okay,
monologue.
Mezzo here has never watched any of the animated shows, so I'm not sure if I have enough of knowledge to give a proper uh, opinion on it.
Okay,
I
okay.
think Ventress looks cool.
This is gonna
Um,
be her post, because she even talks in there about how she was the apprentice of Dooku. So this is gonna be a great story of her finding her own way after, after all the trauma that she's been through and everything she's been through. This is her trying to find her balance. So
is
I
she so this is me not knowing very well. Is Lady Asajj, is she like Sith,
She was.
right?
She was the
She
she
was.
was the apprentice of Count Dooku. When there's supposed to be a rule of two in the Sith, only the master and the one that craves the power, right? But we always see that rule gets broken all the time. Even Palpatine had multiple apprentices at the same time. So, anyways, Dooku had Asajj Ventress as an apprentice when he wasn't supposed to have one because he was the apprentice of Palpatine.
Ooh.
So in one of I think it was in Clone Wars, there was a standoff where Palpatine made Dooku show his loyalty by killing Asajj Ventress, and that was a great battle that
My
ensued.
goodness.
So
Well,
yes,
that sounds like it'll be fun. And when it comes to dates of it, it says streaming on Disney
May
Plus May the
4th.
4th. So I thought
Yes.
that's fitting for Star Wars, of
Oh,
course.
I mean, it's Nerd Christmas. You got to have something. You got to give
Nerd
the fans
nerd
what they
Christmas.
want. Yeah.
All right. Next is actually a sad story. If all of you did not hear that Val Kilmer has passed away. So Val Kilmer, known to many as Iceman or Batman, passed away earlier this week after a brief fight against pneumonia. Just over 10 years ago, the actor was diagnosed with throat cancer, possibly due to years of heavy smoking. His last thing that most people saw him in was the most recent Top Gun movie, where he makes an appearance for a scene. Or to several minutes. He doesn't really. I don't know much about whether he actually had any type of voice left. He mostly typed for his appearance, but he
Oh,
did
wow.
have like a whispering voice that I'm not sure was dubbed in by someone or not. But they didn't really like explain it in the movie. I don't think they necessarily saw that as something they had to explain in any sense.
I
Um,
don't think Matt. I don't think Matt heard outside of this show.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yep, Mets. What was your first movie you remember seeing Val Kilmer? What was your most memorable memory of Val?
Memorable as I love The Saint. The Saint
Oh, The
is
Saint was,
one
yeah.
of my favorite movies when I was like watching when I was younger. And now that he's passed, I'm kind of like, man, it's been years since I've taken some time to watch it. And
I
I
will
want to
say,
go find where I can.
I will say also, if you are a fan of trip hop, that is an excellent soundtrack. The Saint is one of the best
Mm-hmm.
movie soundtracks out there,
It's
along with the
in
movie Go.
Yeah, and I think it was originally a series in like the 60s, and it was in his sense was like a new take on it and stuff. So
Right.
it is very good. That's one of my favorites. I watched that over and over again when I was younger. And now I'm like, I feel like I need to take like Friday nights, I'm usually alone for a little bit. So I feel like maybe I want to take a night and watch it. So
I will
um
say for me, in fact, one of my top all-time favorite 5 movies is a Val
mhm.
Kilmer movie.
Okay,
Um,
what is that?
one of my favorite movies of all time is a movie called Top Secret. And it was one of his first starring roles back in the day, but it was a very like if you've seen the movie Airplane or Naked Gun, it was those same producers. So it was a very silly type of comedy. If you have not seen the movie Top Gun, you must go see that. I mean, sorry, not Top Gun, Top Secret. Oh wow, I didn't even make that connection.
Top Gun was
Top
good
Gun
too,
and
but
Top Secret. Also, one of my most memorable with him, and incidentally, it's a movie my son also likes, is Real Genius. If you haven't seen that back in the day, that was when he was a college genius, but kind of like I don't know how to give it away, but the ending scene of that movie is like one that just seems to be burned in so many people in my generations, an image that's burned in people's minds. It's the scene where they blow up their professor's house and fill it with popcorn, and the whole house is exploding with popcorn, and like kids are out in the street jumping through it, and everybody's eating it.
It
While
sounds
they play
very
the
silly.
while they play the
But, like,
song
fun.
"Everybody Wants to Rule the World." Man, such an iconic closing scene to a movie.
And just to switch change in a second, off topic slightly, but you mentioned Naked Gun.
Yes.
They came out with a trailer today for a new Naked Gun starring Liam Neeson.
Really?
I just watched it like a couple hours ago. You can find it on the Paramount Pictures YouTube. It actually looks a little funny. And
Wow.
like everyone's so used to Liam Neeson being pretty like, serious, but I mean he was in the Lego movie as the police officer that had like the happy face and the sad face and the
Right.
mad face.
The
Like
two-face.
he does comedy.
Right.
And so I'm looking forward to like seeing him in something, but like it was hilarious. And the joke they made at the end of the trailer was kind of like that. Okay, we'll see how this goes, type of thing.
I think that's absolutely exciting. If Liam Neeson, like you said, everybody's used to seeing him as a serious actor, but even oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm skipping on his name now. The actor that plays the original
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen. I think up until then he was seen as a serious actor as well.
Yeah,
And
he I think he mostly did a lot of serious stuff and then started doing some comedy. And it's so funny. I saw in the comments somebody had said, let's do another Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen. I'm sorry, he's dead. Let's get someone with a similar sounding name. And that made me chuckle a little bit. I'm like, okay, Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen. Okay, I can understand.
Leslie Nielsen isn't dead, is he?
Leslie Nielsen died quite some time ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Matt heard about Val from us, and now you just heard about Leslie Nielsen from me. He passed away 15 years ago, hun.
Are you serious? What year is
this? This is 2010. November of 2010 is when he passed away.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been old his entire career, so I never knew
his entire career. Okay. Anyway, so that is your nerdy news for this evening. I know it's not the same music anymore. I robbed you of it.
I know, but that will always be the nerdy news music to me.
Yes. If you want to check out the information about Val Kilmer's passing or our previous discussion about AleXZavesa and Cad Bane, you can check out the links in the description if you're watching the upload, but I did also post them both into the chat.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So moving on, guys, we have James Kaiser, who's our producer for Flow of the Show. And this week he has sent us one of our favorites. He's even been, I think, a guest on our show as well, named Christian Castro. If you'd like to check him out, I will pop his link into the chat. But you can also check it out in the description if you're watching the upload. So please enjoy Christian Castro. I always laugh because he's got long hair and he has fire in his first profile picture. So I'm like, Van's gonna see that and be like, see, I'm right.
So the fact that you said that somebody you think we've had on this show before means that we need to bring Christian back. We have not had Christian.
I am tired.
Christian,
I tried to bring the energy.
For those of you that were watching a couple weeks ago when we had Joshua Pilla, aka Jest, on as a feature, he mentioned that he officially got his start when he received his first Saberflux workshop lightsaber, which is Christian Castro's company.
Yes, it is.
I remember. Okay, so the last time we interviewed Christian, his most viral video at that time, he was doing this dope, incredible flow in his living room. But the thing that everybody kept mentioning in the comments was the cat that was sitting in the corner on his stairs, like watching him doing the flow. And everyone's like, "How
interesting?" Okay, it's like, look at the cat. We care about the cat.
Yes, he does make awesome sabers. If you guys are into that flow arts and flow arts, what is it called? Matt, remind me of what it's called specifically when it's body contacts. I think body contact sabers or something like that. But
contact sabers.
Contact sabers. That's it. Thank you. But like,
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, see, you do know your stuff. You get that's why you get the password for Cade. All right. So with the contact sabers, you'll notice he had like a heavy end on the pommel of his saber, and it was kind of frilly. But that was to balance the saber appropriately so that he could. Yes, thank you very much, Matt. So that he could, shift it around his body and use the weight of it. So the contact sabers are not like your typical sabers. You can't just, you can convert your typical saber into a contact saber, but if you want the best in contact sabering, you got to go check out Saberflux Workshop and Christian, and he customizes it for you too, which is super, super cool.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, James Kaiser, for providing us with that flow of the show this week. Now, before we bring our guests on, we have a little business with you guys in the comments in our chats.
I also want to I also want to remind people, because we got to get into a good flow of this. After the flow of the show, I'd like to remind people that you can always help this channel and support this channel and help this channel grow. We have very cool guests on. Metz is out there working hard. I'm out at conventions trying to find great guests for you. But it helps when we have your support, and you can do that. How, Metz?
You can go to patreon.com. Shut up. You can go to patreon.com/KyberK Productions, and you can support us for as little as $1 a month with some little bonuses depending on what tier you sign up for, including the top two, allowing you to be involved in a custom saber giveaway when May comes along. And you can also give us super chats. YouTube, we're partnered, so you can actually send in tips during the show and send a super chat, which is also very helpful. You can also go to kybercave.com and all your merchandise needs for sabers and more Star Wars.
That is right. And hey, I just want to remind you that is actually next week. Next week, as people are crying about taxes, we will be giving away those sabers to the top people in the family tier and the friend tier, right? Is it family and friends that are the
family
highest?
And friends, yes.
Yeah. So we will be giving those sabers away on our show next week, so that we can ship it out and get them to them so they can have it for May 4th. You can't be saberless May 4th. So next week we will let you know who those people are. So if you join now, we thank you very much. Unfortunately, you won't be able for the sabers that we give away this year, but you will be eligible to start clocking up time for next year. So
yes, and even if you stop, like before the next year comes up, if you've subbed for long enough, which it tells you on the tier how long you need to sub for, you'd still be counted in it even if you stopped before that comes. So like say you sub for June, July, and August, which I believe it's 3 months, that following the next year when we do the giveaway, you'll still be in the giveaway even if you stopped with the patron subscription. All right. Well, guys in the comments, I need your help desperately. We have some fun to do. I noticed you can't buy t-shirts on the site anymore. You should still be able to buy t-shirts. I did remove one older section of shirts that we don't use anymore, but there still should be t-shirts. But Night Vision, I will check tonight and see, or maybe even during the interview, why that might be happening, just to make sure there's not an issue with our t-shirts.
But thank you for the support.
Unless he means kybercave.com, then I can't help you there.
Then you talk to me.
Yeah. If it's kybercave.com, email kybercave@gmail.com. And if it's KCP, I'll take a look. All right. We have something I need you guys to help me with in the comments, in the chat. So please give me a proper noun that is a place.
This is all going to lead to something later. This is going to.
It will, and it
we're
will
doing
be
something
worth
a little
it.
fun and different for tonight's show.
And you know what? Get a little saucy if you want to.
Ooh.
The Louvre.
The Louvre. There's a good one. Oh man.
That'll be interesting. Okay.
Tatooine.
Tatooine. Let me see if there's another one on here. Okay, there's another one here. But night vision, give me a noun that is a number. Just give me a number.
I was gonna say that sounds a little
overcomplicated. Universal Studios. That would have been a funny one.
Oh wait. Does that mean like two ducks or something? Like a noun that is a number?
No, it's just noun. Yeah, when we in the sentence, it should be just a number.
The universal number 69. 11D. Oh, we say 11D in our house. That's a great one.
I never think of 11D.
11D is a great
Rob
one.
says the noise number. Okay. So I will do.
Hey, gentlemen with voices.
You know what? I'm gonna do 11D because I think it's funny. All right, and then let's do. Let's see. Rob, without getting too saucy, okay? Please give me an adjective, which is something you to describe something like soft or blue. You know, something to describe. In case everyone has forgotten their English grammar.
You got to go back to Schoolhouse Rock. That's one of my favorite songs.
Weirdly,
adjectives.
Something weird. Weirdly would be.
I weirdly
would be an adverb. All right. So next, can I get a noun in the chat? Ooh, itchy, scratchy. I'm going to do that for one of the other ones. Night vision.
Stone cold. Man, we're getting some great. Thank you to everybody for the participation.
Just a noun. Accordion.
Oh man, Jen would love that.
That would be really cute. I don't think it quite fits here. Okay, yeah, car. I like that. Duran. All right, I need a verb. You can say it in the. You can say in the AR version. That's in Spanish. AR. Cantar. Let's just sing. Canto la ópera. Can you guess what that meant?
Opera in opera.
I sing opera.
See it.
What? Let's see. A verb. Eric. Opera. Oh goodness. Like so. Oh wait. To sing opera, kind of a thing. I'm gonna write that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Thank you for coming back. It's good to have you back.
Love is a verb. Ooh, to love. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna add that. There's some that are multiples, right? So I'm gonna put it on it.
Yeah, I love all these answers we're getting.
Okay. I'm just adding them in as I go. Someone throw in an adjective. Disemboweling.
That's
you know what? That's going into the last one.
Woo!
Our friend is gonna have some fun with this one. I'm gonna clean it up to make it look nicer when I send it over to Aaron.
Hey, we haven't told people what we're doing yet with this.
I'm the only one seeing it, you guys. Oh, wheeze laugh. Okay, adverb. And so an adverb and an adjective next to each other, but you don't have to. You give me one, and someone else give me another. I don't want them put together.
One person do the adverb.
Yeah, two different people do it. So give me an adverb, and then someone else throw in an adjective.
Adverb. So that adds to the verb. So that would be like that weirdly or what? Jokingly, I guess. What would be some adverbs? And then the other one was adjective.
Softly.
Softly is an adjective, right?
Right.
Tenderly. Ooh, tenderly. I like that.
Ooh.
Tenderly is just so much more funny. Especially if this is about prison.
Did you really just say that?
It would be funny.
You're funny. All right, now an adjective, please. It's like tenderly soft, softly and tender, softly and tenderly. Isn't that something to do with Elvis? I feel like
love me tender.
Love me tender. Oh, love me tender.
Oh, we got to get our guest to sing some Elvis. I bet he can do it.
No, yeah, I just saw his face, and I think he was like, "Oh my goodness!"
All the more reason.
Our guest is a good friend. Yeah, I knew Aaron. I knew he was like, "No."
We can mess with this guest more than we can mess with others.
And that when we mess with you, that means we love you. Bouncing. That would be more.
That's a verb, right? Adverb? No.
You know what? Oh, here we go. Here's a spot to put that. Oh, there's where it would go. Okay. Aaron loves to sing. Wrong. You got Metso here likes to sing.
We can have you guys do a duo.
You see,
how about we
Aaron
have you guys
sing SpongeBob SquarePants and opera with me? No, I agree, Aaron. I'm joking.
No, you should do like some Dolly Parton's Islands in the Stream. Hell yeah. Get it with the Islands in the Stream. That is what
you know what? I'm gonna throw in my own in this spot right here. William, Aaron is one of my closest friends.
No, Aaron's one of our closest friends.
He was my premier son. He's afraid of the interview. Good job, Van.
Wait, why do you assume
I taught Aaron the beginning of editing in Premiere Pro. So for a long while, I was Premiere Mommy. There's even a clip on the channel of me like raising my hand during After Dark, wanting to say something. He goes, "Yes, Premiere Mommy."
Wow.
Okay.
If we didn't know what that meant, that would just sound so wrong.
Okay. Wait, no, I'm gonna do that word instead. I need an adjective, a noun, and one more adjective. Aaron, you're welcome to type in more.
Adjective. Simply unpack my adjectives. That was my favorite one. I love that. And of course, conjunction junction.
Submarine. Okay.
Big raccoon. Oh.
Big raccoon. That's actually kind of funny because that fits in.
Raccoony.
Not raccoon. Because the noun and the adjective are separate. These are not together. Oh, okay.
So we using submarine for the noun or big raccoon?
That is funny. So the noun and big, submarine and big, I'm using in two different spots. I'm not doing rocket raccoon, sir. Okay. It has all been filled out.
Dude, Rob is so into this, dude.
I will make adjustments if necessary. Okay. But I think it's time to bring on Aaron. What do you think?
Wait, are we getting ready to do
I filled it out.
Right.
I'm going to clean it up nicely, and then I'm going to send it to Aaron that during the interview, we will do it with him. Like, he will read it to us.
Yes, of course. So send that over. I figured we would just do it during the interview. Once he got it.
Yes, we'll do it during the interview, and I will send it over to him after I clean it up.
Okay.
Rob is an amazing and awesome friend, co-voice over genius. Ooh. Maybe I can. I'll try to impress Rob too. Hi.
Wow. What kind of impression are you trying to make
on
there?
Friday? Okay, y'all. Friday nights, we used to have a show called After Dark. And yes, there's been rumblings of people missing it and everything. And I would every now and then make an appearance. And I would be in here with my child sleeping. And I would be having to be quiet. And it would be like, hi, everybody. It was like that voice. Okay. Yeah, I want a reunion show too, Aaron. That would be actually quite lovely.
Okay. I want to
I
bring the
do
series
have
back.
moments where like I randomly will suddenly everyone says I sound like Katharine Hepburn sometimes when I like talk a specific way or something like that. I can't do it.
Wow.
I can't do it. If you want to see me do weird things, that sounds so strange. Wait, let me check that back. I did an 8-hour stream a while back, like a few weeks ago, and people did challenges for me. I had to talk like a pirate for 10 minutes, which was awful. I'm terrible at it. And then I did another stream where it took place in England, and so every time I read like a diary or like something that was written that you read to your viewers, I tried to read it in a British accent, and it was absolutely horrendous. The only accent I've ever studied is Cockney, and that was for a show ages ago.
Were you doing My Fair Lady?
No. It was I was yes, of course.
Everybody's talking about After Dark now.
So yes, everyone's like, "Oh wait, we miss it. After Dark 2.0 needs to happen." I was playing a maid in a musical called Dracula the Musical. That's a long story. All right. So let's move on and do our introduction, sir. Do it.
Yes. All right. I am excited about our guest tonight. Our guest tonight is one of our own. Not often do we get to interview somebody that is not only somebody out there in the community, but is a dear friend who has now become family. And a little while ago, it was one of those things where like when your child is growing up and it's time for them to leave the nest and sprout their wings and find their own journey and their own path. Well, not long ago we had that. But what was really cool, and I cannot wait to talk about this with our guest, is I feel like if you've ever seen, there was a documentary for Jay-Z called Fade to Black. If you ever seen that documentary, what's cool about it is in the documentary you get to see some of the genesis of his most famous songs ever, 99 Problems. You get to see like where that song was born. Well, what's cool about this guest is I got to see the genesis of this guy going, hey, how do I do this thing, to taking classes, to expanding, getting all kinds, well, not all kinds of gigs. He's got gigs, but he's getting even more. But it is amazing to see our good friend and family member expand, and I think he has an incredible bright future ahead of him. And we want to get him on early so that when he is a huge name in a show that you all know, we can say, damn it, he was here on Saber Rattle first. So with no further ado, give it up for our good friend, Aaron.
Guess who's back?
He is back. What is up, brother? How you been?
Oh, it has been an absolutely wild ride.
I'm sure it has been. That's what we're here to talk to you tonight. When we did, God, it's been almost 2 years now since we've done After Dark. And that was when we were talking on an every week basis. And you were out here, you were out on the East Coast doing the show late at night with us. It was such a fun show to do. But what was very interesting and what I was telling people is I remember the genesis, because in our group, explain who else was in our little Kyber Cave After Dark group that kind of changed the trajectory of your life.
Well, of course, there was you, there was Mezzo, there was Anthony, who I miss dearly.
Yes.
Let's see, we had Dave, who I also miss dearly.
I guess what I was gonna, there was one specific person that was currently a voice actor in our little group. He was an occasional host. He was in LA and he started, you guys, I remember it was conversations where you seriously started discussing like, what would I need to do to become a voice actor?
Oh,
and then you found your own
John
path. Yes.
And it's funny, I sat down and went through Squid Game like not long ago. I just wanted to give it a chance, and I ended up loving it. And it was funny because my wife was like on the other side of the room. She didn't want to watch it because it was subtitled and everything. And when John came on the screen, I'm like, I know him. So that was really cool to see him there on the show. It was like,
right.
it's John.
But I remember that in the group that we had, that he was coming to LA for some auditions or something, and it was the first time I remembered you really getting serious about talk. Like, you had mentioned wanting to be a voice actor, but it was a conversation thread that I remember where you guys were like, okay, how do I really make this happen? And it seemed to be the birth of you, like, really trying to go and investigate this new path.
Partially, yes. I think it's because it's the one person that you knew who was all the way in the industry. Like, he was signed, he was on a major production, and even though it wasn't like specifically voiceover, he was an actor, and he was in the middle of shooting, if I recall. Like, he was like between shoots when he would come on the show. So all of us being able to kind of quiz him and look into how it all works, that was really fascinating, and I enjoyed that very much.
Right. So at the time, you were doing other types of work, and actually, I think you were kind of like, I want to say, I don't want to say you were in between jobs, but you just weren't like. I remember it was after the I don't even remember what the job was called, but the job where you had to like clean up bodies and stuff. That was a weird job.
My funeral home job.
Yes, that when I first met you, that was the job that you had, and then you worked somewhere else, and it just seemed like you weren't satisfied there, and it just seemed like just in general you just were not real excited about life. And it wasn't until you started going into the voice acting and producing that it seemed like you found the niche you were looking for.
There's a story behind it all. Yes.
I want to know it, man.
I mean, so to tell you that one quickly, I started, I guess, my time on camera, doing this when I was still making sound fonts on saberfont.com. And then when you and I met, that was on Repulse Collectibles. My friend Link was running that site, and I had made the Scott Pilgrim font, and you were so happy about that. And then
Yes.
we had the interview, and then you invited me to watch a few episodes of After Dark, and I was like 4 or 5 episodes watching it, and I'm like, you know what? I want to just be a part of this, and then the rest is history.
Yes. And what a great history. In fact, people are still in here talking about how they miss the old After Dark show. That was a lot of fun. You know what I really appreciated about that After Dark, and I feel like it was the beginning of you kind of getting on camera and kind of, well, because you had your other podcast with the other font actors.
Usual Suspects.
Yes. But so
friends.
this was a little bit of a different outlet for you than the whole lightsaber community, because we talked about all kinds of random crap on that show. And what I loved was the fact that we were able to have really big discussions without anybody killing each other.
That's very true. It got heated a few times.
It did get heated. But it was a fun show, and I think it kind of if you guys get bored, or if you need something to fall asleep to, go hit that Kyber Cave After Dark playlist we have in the bottom. I think we've got over 50 some odd shows.
A lot of shows.
That was a lot of fun. So how did your voice acting, what was the beginning? What was it that happened to you in your head that made you go, okay, I'm really going to pursue this, and I'm going to figure out what it takes to do this dream job? What was it? How did that click, and where did your process begin? What was your first steps in making that happen?
I'm going to take you way, 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 way back. Okay. When I was 7, and this is a childhood memory, my friend Leon and I were at the house, and my mom, she was talking to us about things we want to do. Like, we were watching Nickelodeon, right? And I remember her asking us, if you could be on TV, what would you want to be on? And my buddy Leon, he said, well, I want to be on Double Dare. Remember Double Dare with Mark Summers?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, me being 7, I was like, well, I want to be a character on Heathcliff. And she's like, well, that's a cartoon, honey. And I'm like, I know.
Right.
Because even back then I was a nut for cartoons, and I wanted to be in a cartoon. I wanted to be animated, and I wanted to be, on the TV. And
Right.
that specific memory, like, going all the way back, just always being fascinated with animation and cartoons and video games and whatnot. That's kind of, I guess that's kind of where the dream was born. But I really, gosh, the inspiration to really take it seriously came in 93, honestly.
What happened in 93?
93, I went over to a neighbor's house, and he had a Sega CD, and he was playing one of my very favorite games of all time. It's called Lunar the Silver Star. And the villain, his name is Galleon, was voiced by an actor by the name of John Truitt. Now, John Truitt, he's been in the game for many, 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 many years. However, Lunar and Lunar 2 was his big break. That's where he impressed a large portion of the gaming community, and he made a very memorable character. It's like it imprinted on me in the biggest way. If I had not been at my friend's house and seen that scene that John Truitt had acted out, I probably never would have got into anime. I probably never would have gone further in RPG video games, and I probably never would have gotten into voice acting. John Truitt is the reason. And if he ever sees this interview, John, you are the reason that I am where I'm at today. So that's kind of when it got really, really serious. Let's fast forward some more. I went into college. I got a bachelor's of science in media arts. And during the course of that education, I learned a lot of things: 3D animation, post-production, video editing, audio editing. And I carried a lot of those audio editing skills into the Saber community, and that's kind of where I taught myself how to make Saber sound fonts, and then there's that story. Then, I was working at the funeral home, and I think it was in 2019. I got it in my head, like, all right, at some point we got to get going on this. Like, I got to figure this out. So that's when I bought, one of my first microphones, and I had like 2 of these panels, like, stapled into a cardboard box to catch audio. And a little after that is kind of when, we started doing our thing. After I came back from visiting with you guys in Cali, was that really terrible period of time where I had that back injury. And I ended up going into this terrible depression because of the medicine that the surgeon had put me on. And then I had the surgery, and then I put a lot of the weight back on, because you guys remember my weight loss journey. I lost like 65 pounds. It was crazy. And then I came out of the surgery, and I tried getting back into normal life, and lots of interviews, with just jobs, and being fed back a lot of, you're a liability. You've had a surgery. Your back's no good. You'd be a liability. You're a liability. You're a liability. It was terrible. It was just awful. It was just awful. And one day I said, you know what? Enough's enough. I'm done. I've gone too long in my life not being able to chase what it is I want to do until the day I freaking die.
Right.
And I sat down with my wife, and we had a very serious discussion about, going into this full time, getting the booth ready, getting the right equipment. I mean, after tonight, I'm going to retire this microphone so that I can put in my brand new pro grade mic.
Right.
And, and from there, here's where the very long story begins. You want to do another question? You want me to go into it?
Well, we want to know the story, man.
Okay. I was still co-hosting on Distance Nerding, and Big Phil the mansplainer, love him to death. He said, we've had a guest, a voice actress on our show by the name of Elise Bowman. He goes, do you know who that is? I said, yes, that's the voice of Pan from Dragon Ball GT. And he says, well, we happen to know who she is. Would you like to meet her? And I'm like,
Mhm.
you gotta be kidding me. Are you serious? So he gets the two of us together and I start talking to her and she cuts right to the chase. And she says, do you want to take my voiceover basics class? It's a 6-week course. I said, you know what? Talked to the wife, got the money set aside. Let's do it. So I
Mhm.
did. And I joined up in her class. I think I gave you guys the link if you want to put it in the comment section or whatever. Elise Bowman, Dragon Ball GT. Like, oh my God, this is nuts. She was working for Funimation, who at the time was still Funimation. Now they're Crunchyroll. And I did her course, which was 6 weeks. And I learned a lot. I really did. And the way Elise kind of gave it to the students. She put us in audition situations. She talked to us about agents. She talked to us about
Was this like an
sessions.
online course kind of thing? Like, were you
No,
in a virtual classroom or something?
so it was a Zoom class
Okay, yeah, yeah.
with a small group. I think the group I was with at the time was 6 people.
Mm.
It was very one-on-one, very engaging. Let me just say Elise is wonderful. She's such a good teacher. And she doesn't sugarcoat it. She really tries to gauge you to see if this is what you want. Do you really want to chase this? And
Mhm.
for that 6 weeks, I went hardcore and she was happy and I was happy and we got through the course and I learned a lot and it was a lot. And at the end of it, she invited me to come and join her power group, which is her advanced class. So I went into that. I would say, goodness, for about I was in there for about 6 sessions, or maybe because I think we met once every 2 weeks. I was in there for about 6 sessions, and then it started getting really, really serious.
Mhm.
There were And that's kind of when I made the decision that I was not ready to continue the course.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I didn't have what I needed. That was it. Not to mention,
When
she
you
had
said, do you mean like physical equipment or something, or you spiritually didn't have, like, you couldn't, mentally go on, or what do you mean you didn't have what you needed?
I'm so glad that you asked that because being a year and a half into the game, I can tell this story with no regrets. What had happened was every other session she would bring on a guest, and she brought in, and again, for the sake of privacy, I'm gonna tell this as plain as generally as I can. She brought in a guest who worked for a very well-known
Prominent?
company.
Mhm.
Okay, and this guest explained um, some things to the class that was very period point blank. Very period point blank. Enough to where myself, and I would say 1 or 2 other of the students there were really shook to our cores at what was said. By the end, I almost gave up voice acting.
What did they? What did they tell you? You had to audition with Harvey Weinstein? I don't. What exactly? What is it? I mean, is it something that is like moral deal breakers,
No, no,
or
no, no,
like
no, 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 no. It's nothing like that. It's
you have
nothing
to
like that.
sign? Did you sign your soul to the devil?
Goodness, no. No, no, no. It was one it had to do with location. It had to do with
Mm,
location. And to work for this specific company,
yeah,
you had to live in a certain place because
that's
this
where the
was
studios are, right?
this correct. And
Right.
this particular company, and I can't speak to today. I can only speak to when the class was. At the time, this particular company wanted you in the studio in their own booth working with
Right.
their own cast. So there was no remote. There's no doing what I'm doing now. There was none of that. And I didn't have then what I have now. Like I've really upgraded. So hearing that, number one, I didn't have what I needed, and that kind of hurt. But what almost broke me was the fact that this guy literally said, if you don't live within driving distance, don't bother.
Right.
That
So it's like saying if you don't live near LA, you just give up the dream.
I,
If you're not willing to commute in or something,
I would say
Atlanta, or I'm
yes.
just
I
saying,
would say 3/4 of the way as harsh. Yes, and
yeah,
and now this is the part I'm going to own. Back then, my maturity level as a voiceover artist, it wasn't there. So of course, when I hear something like that and I'm brand new to doing it professionally, that
right,
broke me. It broke me. And you
right,
know something, Van? That's on me. That's on me. That's my fault for taking it that bad. I didn't take the time to stop and ask questions and look into other options. No, I literally got shattered on the spot. And I'm
right.
like, I would say within about 2 weeks, I had emailed Elise and I said, can we continue as coach and student? Unfortunately, I cannot continue the class because honestly, I didn't want to tell her I was broken. Like I just didn't. And again, that was my immaturity. I
Right.
could have stayed the course, but at the same time, I also knew technically, gear wise, program wise, I also didn't have what I needed. So I took some days and I did a little soul searching and I'm like, all right, dude, what do you want? What is it that you really, really want? I kept coming back to the same answer. I want to voice act till I die. What does that mean? That means you're behind the mic. That does not mean you're working for that specific company. That does not mean you're in that specific
Right.
studio. What that
Yes.
means is you're going to find another freaking way. So, my buddy, Link, Repulse Collectibles branded, he links me another academy, and it's called A VO's Journey Academy. Link is it. I left the link with you guys. Now, I've been with the academy up to now. I'm still a member. This is the good thing. The academy was able to equip me with literally everything I needed so that if I wanted to jump back in with Elise's power group, I'm prepared.
Wow.
I'm much more prepared. Let me
When
tell
you
you
say
what I've
equipment, you mean physical equipment, right? Like microphones, boards. Oh,
all of
okay.
it. All of it. What the academy helped me do and all the community, first of all, phenomenal community. I made so many friends. We have our own group. It's amazing. Um, the teachers, Kat Siggers, Gabrielle Nistico, Anthony Pica, unbelievable place to be. And it really, really equipped me with what I needed. It helped me get my gear in check. It helped me get my booth in check. I was able to set everything up in here. Doing more time, I was able to figure out how I could upgrade without breaking my bank. It helped me in performance. It helped me in auditions. It helped me
Wow.
in sessions. I got my first audiobook gig there. I did short stories. I got like 12 or 13 short stories through them. We
Wow.
did script workouts literally every single week. We did performance every week. We did everything every week. And the classes are not that large. So there's not like, 50, 60, 70 people in a class. It's smaller. And it's I can't say enough good things about it. It really is a phenomenal program. And it it, it gave me what I needed technically and in terms of performance so that I honestly believe, again, if I wanted to jump back in with Elise's power group, I could do it without skipping a beat because
Right.
now having been in the industry for a little while, I feel more comfortable. I mean, even my vocal range has changed significantly. Like I can speak in my lower range without any problem whatsoever. I mean, it's nuts. It's
Right.
nuts what you can figure out what to do. And on top of it, it's just a ton of fun. It's always
Right.
been fun. So everything that we're learning. And then I'm like, okay, let's do fan dubs and let's run these scripts and let's run let's bounce off each other. And, everybody's kind of lighting fires under each other's butt to try different things. So, you have
Right.
people who are doing commercials now jumping into anime. You've got people, who are doing narration or they're doing e-learning, jumping into video games, and everybody is kind of like finding out what they're capable of, and dreams are changing, and people are getting excited. And that is the atmosphere that I needed.
Right.
And it re-lit me up. And I have just been on fire ever since. I'm a year and a half in to voice acting, not to the academy. I think I'm a year into the academy. I'm a year and a half into voice acting now.
Mhm.
And it's I want to do this till I'm 94.
Wow. I think it's amazing. I remember when I was a little kid and we did one of those career days where you had to figure out what kind of career you wanted. And when I was a little kid, voice actor was the job title I had chosen. But I think I have a couple of people in mind. I think voice acting is one of those things, especially as adults. I think we all know that guy who does a bunch of silly, crazy voices and all of a sudden thinks he can be a voice actor, but doesn't realize kind of the work part that goes behind it. It's not just being able to change your voice or talk in silly ways. There's a lot more that goes into it.
Yes, it really is. But you know what? Everybody's journey is different. I do not have an acting background. I don't have a speaking background. I don't have a singing background. I was the nerdy kid who grew up 80s and 90s and then got into anime and then just started impersonating all the voice actors and all the video game characters. And I just kept doing it for years and years and years and years and years, thinking, okay, this might be an in for me. And then once reality slapped me in the face, it's like, okay, yeah, I kind of missed out on an opportunity to like, go to college, like go to a fine arts college and get into acting. But at the same time, in today's market, you've got people out there who are just doing this from their desk and they don't have a lick of, acting knowledge.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy what you're hearing over the radio on your mobile app. Like,
Right.
But the folks with training, the folks who take it very, very seriously, you could pick them out.
Mhm.
You could pick them out. I'm very blessed and thankful for the opportunity to have at least had a year to learn some performance, to learn some narration, to learn somewhat how to do this properly. I mean, I don't think I have the time to go back and get a whole degree in acting, but
Right.
I am grateful for the world we live in right now, where you have folks, who can put together these academies and really get in there and be genuine and really teach. And we want your students to learn, and you're going to teach them all that you can, and you're going to hope that a few of them catch it. And, I try my hardest every single day to catch it. I don't learn every lesson, I'm like the really goofy guy in each class who tries to just make, a joy of it all. But dude, I struggle. I really struggle. I think the biggest thing I struggle with is audiobooks
Mhm.
because I just stumble over my words a lot of the time.
Mhm.
So
Is it really different? I mean, it's when you stop and think about the different types of work you can do as a voice actor, you can work in video games, you can work in audiobooks, you can work in educational realms. Is it difficult to try to kind of master all the different genres, or do you find it easier to kind of focus on, I want to do cartoony and silly stuff, or I want my voice is more stoic, so I think I should do educational readings?
I can't speak for everybody who gets into this and then decides they want to stay doing it. What I can say is once you get in there and you try different things, and this comes with the script workouts, when you get in there and you try different things, of course, you're always going to have your bucket list goals. Me, it's always going to be video games and anime and animation, character work. But sometimes you'll find a commercial that just hits your sweet spot. And it's like, wait a minute, I never thought I could do this. And then you kind of just keep on doing it. It's
Right,
like,
right.
all right, we can do this. And then you find work in it. And it's like, okay, well, this is different. So that's why I think it was easy for me to come to the conclusion, I don't have to work for a specific company. I just want to be behind the microphone because
Right.
everything that I do, I really take joy in doing it.
Right. We recently did an interview with Adasa, who is a Grammy Award winning singer, who was then an actress in the movie Encanto. And
Okay.
Encanto was her first, voice acting role. And I was really struck by how she was saying, oh, we talked about different things. I, had asked her about how she was doing her lines, and she said that, she would do each line, but she would do it in slightly different ways so that the editors can choose what was in there. But what was very interesting to me was I had mentioned, and I don't know if you've seen the movie Encanto, but Dolores is the one that can hear everything. And she does this cute little squeak sound at the end of her lines. And I'd asked her where that had come from. And she was telling me how she drew from a memory with her mother and father when, like, her father would say something that, was a little bit of a stretch of the truth. Mom would always make this kind of like sound, you know what I mean? And she drew on that as an actress and put that into her character. Do you find yourself being able to do that? Do you ever get to do some readings and go, oh my God, this reminds me of my buddy Billy, and Billy used to always have this weird voice quirk that I'm going to try out. Do you find yourself getting to pull personal things into your work?
Wow, off the top of my head, I can't answer that question because I don't remember right now.
Mm.
Um, I'm sure there was something I did at some point. Maybe it was an audiobook character that I tried to make sound like my dad, because the character spoke a lot like my dad. So I don't even think I got the part. It was an audition,
Right.
I kind of tried to impersonate my dad the very best I could. And but yeah, I guess to answer your question, I guess that was the one time that sort of happened.
Mhm, mhm. So you've done how many audiobooks and how many different projects have you done so far that you've seen out there in the world used in some way or another, whether it's something for schools or something audiobooks or cartoons or video games. How many different types of projects have you done?
Okay, well, I mean, I can give you a list of the wins. If you're really
What does that
interested.
mean exactly?
So, okay, so the very first paid gig that I ever
Mhm,
scored
mhm,
was it was a TikTok ad for a roofing company, which was so cool.
mhm.
It was one of those deals where it's like, wait a minute, voice acting isn't just someone writes you a check. I mean, you can how do I say this? You can advertise yourself to businesses, local
Right.
businesses,
Right.
and get service and trade. You know,
Oh,
long
yeah.
story short, I needed a new roof. So I I met with this company, and fantastic company. I picked out what I wanted. Everything turned out great. Before we signed off on everything the night before, I brought up their website and I had the literature they gave me, and I wrote a commercial and I
Uh-huh.
pitched it to them. Like, I recorded it, did music, did sound effects, did everything. Took it
Uh-huh.
to them the next day, and they said, "What is this?" I'm like, "This is your new ad." And they're like, "You gotta be kidding me." So,
Mhm.
they played the ad, they loved it so much, they came back and they had changed the agreement we had for the price.
Mhm.
They took almost $1,000 off my roof for the right
Wow.
to use the ad for a year.
Uh-huh.
What they don't know is that I don't care, they can use the ad forever, because it was my very first break, and I'm like, "This no way." But
Right.
it really happened. I mean, and it was official, like, it was on the receipt, like, you know, work in trade. So,
Wow.
yeah, there's that. My doctor. I mentioned to my doctor, "Yes, Jen, I'm getting there." Um, my doctor, okay? She wanted she wanted some ads done, and I told her, I was getting into voice acting, and without even skipping a beat, I recorded 4 commercials for her. She just needed 1. I recorded 4, and they listened to them, came back to me. They asked for a quick change. I said, okay, here we go. They took 2, and now those 2 are on regular rotation in Daytona Beach on a rock station.
How cool.
In exchange, there was like the $600 procedure that I was going to have done free.
Wow.
Yes. Free.
I've never really thought of the bartering system when it comes to voice acting. That's crazy.
Yep. But the big boy of them all came last year, finalized this year, and that was when I was working with Art of Play Games, and I was cast for 8 roles in a brand new game for Switch, Steam, PS5, The Phantom.
Wow.
And I'm every yes, Rob. I'm every male villain -1. I'm every boss, and I'm the final boss.
Wow.
My friend Jen, who you see,
a mainstream big release.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yep. It's on Switch. You can get it digital, and all the physicals just got shipped out the other day. So big thank you to my friend Ash at Art of Play Games. And if you're a fan of the Phantom, just get the game. I mean, it's a really cool. It plays like Streets of Rage.
Wow. So you played the game yourself?
I have the game. I got it on the first night.
Oh my God. What is it like to hear yourself on the game? And
so weird.
On top of that, did you, while you were recording these, could you envision what the game looked like? Or is this like a whole brand new experience when you hear it, or play it for the first time?
I was very fortunate because artist renderings were shared with me with character descriptions. So I was able to see the character, and then, okay, so this is the character, this is their line, and then we need these efforts, that stuff.
Right.
So I did that for 8 characters.
Wow.
So that was really cool. And then
so
finally,
you get different. How do you do differently for 8 different people based on like their them being different people?
Truthfully, I mean, you kind of just change the voice pitch. That's kind of how I did it.
Okay, really quickly, there's a question here. Is that based? Well, I don't know if this is for Static Shift question or for.
That was just me asking if it was based off, if the Phantom was based off the comic book hero.
Yeah, the Phantom.
Because I loved the movie when crap, what's his name?
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane played the Phantom ages ago, and I loved that movie.
So is that what that is, Aaron, or is it a different?
It's that story, yes.
It's that story. Holy crap!
Yes.
Oh my God! I didn't know
the main villain, Joe guy. I play him.
Oh my gosh! Oh wow! That's incredible.
It's a fun game. It really is a fun game. So huge thanks to Ash out at Art of Play, and Jen right here in the comments. She is a main character in the game.
Oh wow! Well, we're gonna have to bring Jen on.
So yeah, because she's incredible and amazing and awesome. So, and then finally, there's a project I just wrapped up, and this is good. This is like a personal victory because, like I told you earlier, I struggle with audiobooks the most.
Right.
I did about 12 to 13 short stories to really just kind of get into reading audiobooks, get used to it, because Rob and Jen, they'll tell you I'm a character actor more than anything. I hate my own voice, and so when I narrate, I have to use my own voice.
Right.
But you know what? Again, I'm grateful because I was cast in those short stories, and the short stories, they're things like Johnny Appleseed or The Adventures of Sinbad, things like that. Real short stories. They're not gonna take you 10 hours to read.
Right.
So I got to narrate those. Really helped with my comfort level, and I'm so grateful. Um, Rob, stop it. But then I just wrapped up my first very long form audiobook, and I was working with a company called Bloodmane Books.
Mhm.
And the book that I read for them is called Welcome to Murder World. First of all, has to be one of the most enjoyable stories I've ever read in my life.
Right.
So much fun. And you could tell it's very, very inspired by comic culture, superhero culture. Like it's all there. It really is. And when I got to see it, I auditioned for thanks to another friend of mine who had introduced me to the author, and the editor, and um just the whole experience start to finish. First of all, the book is amazing. Working with the team, just getting their feedback on the characters, on how the mood should be set in certain parts, also incredible. Like, it's taught me so much. So I highly recommend, please go check out Bloodmane Books and look into Welcome to Murder World. They have a few other titles that another dear friend of mine, her name's Tiffany, she has read for them. And she's an incredible author, or incredible narrator. Just, dude, I mean, I can't say enough. Just I have so many blessings to be thankful for, and so many people I could just say thank you to. And everybody out there, you know who you are, so thank you, for getting me where I'm at. But I mean, that, like Welcome to Murder World, that's a personal victory for me, because again, I really struggled. I think I came out a stronger narrator for it. Yes, and my friend Tiffany, she just won 2 awards for narration. So, like,
Wow.
she's incredible. And working with all my friends, it's a very rewarding experience. It's what keeps me going, you know. Um, but yeah, I can't say enough to it. So, next question.
Yeah. I mean, this is an amazing journey so far. So, as a working voice actor, are you constantly? Is there like I don't know, almost like a union board where there's like it just shows you like these are the jobs that are open, or how is it personal connections where like, oh hey, by the way, Aaron, they've got this thing opening up at this studio. How do you find the majority of your work?
Direct marketing. Direct marketing. Um, a few of my jobs, I have had the incredible privilege of my friends just recommending me to somebody, or just letting me know, hey, this audition is here. You might want to go click on it, jump in on it. And I mean, that's like with the Phantom, like two of my friends, I was asked, do you know voice actors? And I'm like, yes, I do. I'll be right back.
Right.
And I was fast to let them know, okay, we need 2 female parts. This is the role, email at ba, 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 ba. And then before I knew it, 2 of my friends, they're co-stars, and it's so
Wow.
cool.
I was gonna
So
say that's got to be a really cool feeling to know that like these are your actual friends, people that that are all working. It's almost like being in a club. They're all working on the same project.
it's more than a club. When you work with people and you grow with people and they watch you grow, dude, that's family. That's like you
Right.
guys. You guys are family.
Right.
Like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
So I
Everyone's getting all emotional. Metz is getting emotional. Back camera, you're getting emotional.
I
It
can't, I
has been
mean,
it has been a long a journey, my friend. But that's why when we were talking about it, I was like, oh my god, dude, we should have Ron on the show, dude. Like, because your growth in just a little bit of time. Because really, we're only talking about a matter of what, 2 years that things have
uh
really started to blossom.
year and a half.
Year and a half, right? That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Where do
Yeah.
you want to go from here? Are there, I mean, obviously you're at the beginning of your journey and stuff. Can you see yourself going to cons and like meeting fans and stuff?
It's so funny because the group I roll with, you see them on the screen. We joke about sitting next to each other, like, at cons someday,
Right.
like, where, how did you get into it and how did this begin? And I think I sometimes glory think, like, What would I say to an audience if I were in that position? Like, if you had this 17-year-old kid, I just get up and be like, "How do I be a voice actor?" You know, like what would you say to them? You know
Right.
what I mean? And I gotta tell you, when you're part of a group and you're part of like an academy, or you're part of a large amount of people, and you see their success stories, we are witness to incredible people doing incredible things. I have seen people have insane success on Fiverr. I've seen people have insane success on Upwork. I've seen people boycott Fiverr. I've seen folks have success on voices.com. Some have success on voices 123. Some people can just open their email and they've got a list of folks who they will contact, agencies, video production places, and just direct market. And they will make it. They'll make it. And it's incredible, which is why I think, if I can give 2 pieces of advice to anybody wanting to do this, number 1, always be open to learning.
Right.
Always be willing to learn. I don't care how much you hate it. I don't care how much you hate that commercial on the radio. Try doing it yourself. I don't care how much you hate a marketing strategy of a particular restaurant or a furniture company. Put yourself in their shoes and try doing it. You ever hear somebody say, like, in a comment section, "Well, if you think you could do better, do it yourself." Dude, do it yourself. Put
Right.
yourself there and really be like, okay, if I were going to advertise for these people, how would I change it? How would I make it sound? How would I sound more appealing?
Right.
What can I do for this firm? Not how much money can I make for them? What can I do to help them in their business?
Right.
Does that make
That's good
sense?
philosophy for
So
any work position.
that's number 1. Number 2, time is on your side. I don't care how old you are. You can be 17 saying to your mom, "I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to voice act." You can be 70. I know somebody in their 70s and they narrate like genius. And I
Yeah.
wish I could like you could hear this guy on NPR. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't care how old you are. Time is on your side. So take the time.
Right.
I have gone through, I would want to say maybe the first 6 months of the journey, I felt really pressured. Like, I've got to get good at this now. I have to get good at this, within X amount of time, or I'm never going to make it. I've got to make it before the AI algorithm. No, stop it. Shut up. Time is on your side.
Right.
If you have something to learn, learn it. If you need to practice something, practice it. If you need to work on your website, work on it. Take the time to better yourself. Practice. Get it in there. Make the contacts. Get it done. Dude, Rob will tell you, I am my own worst enemy. The one person who has continued to trip me up on this journey, the reason why I'm not further than I am now, you're looking at him. All the doubt, all the uncertainty, all the am I good enough, all the this is trash, all the oh, I'm scared to talk to this person, or no, I got to push past that. There's a level of maturity that comes with each passing day.
Right.
Am I there? No, I'm far from it. I am far from it. But at the end of the day, no matter how terrible of a day I may have, or no matter how terrible I may feel, or if somebody says no to me or ghosts me, or gives a bad comment to me, or says I'm not a good actor, or whatever, at the end of it, I still want to do this till I'm 94.
Nice. Excellent. Man, you have left us with a lot to think about. I think it's inspirational to know that not that you're an old man or anything like that. You're definitely not as old as me, but that you.
That's the truth.
Oh,
Stop
wow.
it.
I love you guys.
It's nice to see that people can make these changes midlife or go back to what their dreams and their real passions were. You don't have to be stuck in mediocrity your whole life. If you have a dream or if you have a passion, just change it. Just start making the steps today to to evolve to what you want to be, and you'll turn into a beautiful little butterfly like our buddy Aaron over here.
Let me tell you a little story. This is when people ask me, like, what do you want to be like? How do you look at voice acting? You and I are of a generation when we were kids, we had access to Nick at Night. If you recall Nick at Night, they played the classics: Green Acres, Dragnet, Get Smart,
Right.
Donna Reed, Dick Van Dyke,
Leave It to Beaver,
and Mr. Ed.
Oh yes.
There's a point to this story. Pay attention. Mr. Ed and Wilbur were played by an actor by the name of Alan Young. Alan Young, for those of you who don't know, was the original voice of Uncle Scrooge in Disney.
Oh.
He was on Disney shorts. Then he was in the 80s version of DuckTales. And then at the age of 94, this is why 94 is important. Elise Bowman, Pan, she asked me what I wanted from this. I told her I want to be in the booth at 94. At the age of 94, Alan Young was contacted and he was brought into the studio to play Uncle Scrooge one last time. It was for a remake of Disney's DuckTales, the video game, for I think it was Wii and PlayStation 3. It's the last thing he ever did behind the microphone. He was 94 years old. He got behind the mic. He played Uncle Scrooge as clearly as you heard him in 1988. And this man did it at 94. At 94, after the game was done being made, he passed away.
Wow.
That's what I want. That's what I want. I want to be in a booth, in a studio, remote, whatever. I don't care if I'm recording a cartoon, an anime, a video game, a voicemail message. All I want to do is I want to go from this day, right now, talking to you, to age 94 and do this all the way in between.
Wow.
That's what I want.
Wow. Woohoo!
I want to go out like Alan Young did.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing. That is amazing. Hey! Now, on that note, as we get ready to segue out, I didn't realize how quick. I think we're actually well over, but
Sorry.
It's all good. It's good talking to you, brother. I miss having you on air, and it's good to see you blossom and grow into, because it was funny on KCAD. Although that was our only adult show on our channel, it was so funny how everybody's job was to get you to curse. Everybody was trying to get you to curse once. You were such a shy and timid person,
Dave.
There was many times when you would just be there on air and just shut off your mic, listening to everybody else because you didn't feel like you necessarily had something to contribute. But it's been amazing to see this journey and this path for you, and to see you really opening up. I can't wait to bring you back on next year and hear about more tremendous things that you have done and the way that you have carved and changed the industry. But before we do all that, yes, I got you, Meto. I'm just doing a transition here, all right? Before we all do that, we will your acting talents here to the test. So the game that we all played before our wonderful guest came on was a Mad Lib game that is waiting in the private chat, and our good friend Aaron is now going to read.
Come on, dude, I'm still fours. I'll always be fours.
And by the way, if you happen to go on the Kyber Cave website and you need a saber of your own, there is a saber called the Force. There is a saber named after this gentleman. Now, I think we spelled it differently, but at any rate, it's still named after our friend. So if you need a saber, go check out the Force. We need to have you put your own sound font on that saber. All right. With no further ado, are you ready, my friend?
I guess I'm cold reading this, aren't I?
Yeah. We're putting you to the test, baby.
I'm going to be on screen for this.
My God. Okay.
Do it. Jennifer says, do it.
Chewbacca is a Wookiee from the planet the Louvre. He's more than 42 feet tall and 11 years old, with weird fur covering his car. Wookiees don't sing opera like humans. They make scratchy noises instead. They are tenderly sticky and know to love and fly.
Woo!
Chewie is Han Solo's big friend and co-pilot of his submarine ship, the Bouncing Falcon. They help the timid alliance to disembowel the Empire.
Ooh.
If you will.
Disembowel.
Disembowel the Empire.
Woo! Let's see. Rob says Alan Young also did one robot, one in the Battle of the Planets. So he knows this history. All right, my friend Aaron. I love you to death, brother. I always want to keep up with you. I wish you nothing but luck in your journey. But hopefully we can bring you back, and we can bring KCAD back together. Do a reunion show like everyone was talking about.
Hey, I appreciate you as always. And to everybody out there who knows me, who's been with me on this journey before this journey, know that I love you all. And there is not a day that goes by that I am not grateful for everything you guys have done for me. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. And nothing but the best on your journey. Everybody else, go to the descriptions, check out all of Aaron's stuff. And if you are interested in becoming a voice actor yourself, there are some links for you to follow. All right, my brother, you have a beautiful evening, and we shall talk to you soon.
Bye, brother.
Look at even his website picture is sexy. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's like,
he's got that look.
Don't I look like I have the voice? Actually, what's really funny was you just froze, Ben. I can't see you. There you are. Okay.
What the hell is going on right now?
For a second, a moment ago, I realized what I think the music that says Force is. So earlier he had that job working at the funeral home, and there was times in After Dark where he would tell like a creepy story, and I think it's like creepy music.
Oh, I remember those. We need to bring those clips back.
Yeah,
we had a couple of clips, right?
They're on our shorts right now.
Yes.
And then so there's sometimes just jokes that we have in our KCP family chat on Facebook. And there's this one video that Aaron sent where he talked about the type of ring light he used. And that he would set it to 48K because we care.
Because we care.
And without his knowledge, I took that video and made a kind of parody commercial for our channel.
Yes.
And did not tell him
that was Aaron's first voice acting gig.
Well, I mentioned that, but I remembered I used his video, so you see his face.
Right.
I actually tried to do my own like voice acting in it before I got this much nicer microphone. Play one of the samples on the website. Play the Nissan ad. It's my latest one. Ooh. Is it on like your website? Or is it one of the samples you sent? Anyway, so it's on his website. I do have it ready.
Oh, we got to show it. This is for all
okay, but give me a moment before we do that. He wants to show his Nissan ad.
Ooh.
I'm going to make sure I have it right. Is the pre-tariff ad? Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So let me show you this. Share screen. All right. And add to the stage. This is Aaron's website. Here is his Nissan ad.
Hurry in to the pre-tariff sales event at Jenkins Nissan of Leesburg. Score discounts up to $3,500 on Sentras, $5,500 in dealer cash on Pathfinders. It's Jenkins Nissan Madness. Don't wait. Visit Jenkins Nissan of Leesburg today or online at jenkinsnissan.com, where unbeatable savings meet unbeatable service. Hurry in to the
hit play again. I love that. And it's like, I like the multiple errands. I liked that. This is the video that I made.
And this used to run before every show for like 6 months. We used to put this commercial on.
It was so funny, and I made it like over 2 years ago.
I love this.
We are a channel that appreciates its viewers. We give our utmost effort for the best quality content. And we even push for the highest quality effort when it comes to how we look for you on screen.
Hi. When I need my skin to look its absolute best when I'm blowing the heads off zombies, I set my ring light to 4700K. Because I care. Maybe he's born with
it. Join our community. Join a channel that loves its viewers. Join this channel because we care.
Woo! See, he said he had no acting experience. That's all the acting you need.
My favorite part is I told nobody that I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I told nobody, and then I just went and threw it into the chat. Like, here you go.
Oh yeah, I remember when I saw it. I absolutely fell in love with it the first time I saw it. And like I said, we started putting it at the beginning of every episode of every show.
Yeah, it was hilarious, Aaron, and it was a. There's been some hilarious moments, especially with After Dark. And while you guys were doing the interview, it made me think of that video, and then I went ahead and edited it as a short. So it's coming out as a short this Wednesday, just for fun.
Yeah.
There's been so many great moments, like me trying to impersonate your laugh, that kind of thing, or there's always and forever will be.
Wow.
That one I also told nobody about. I went because Van has a very distinct laugh, and we always commented about his distinct laugh. And I would make because we tear t-shirts, Aaron.
I want to do that. We
started.
On
because we tear t-shirts. And I just took a bunch of clips of Van laughing and put it into audio, and then just hit play. Didn't tell anybody, and I was like, maybe I should make it a ringtone. Also, just for fun memory's sake, Aaron, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, really quick that make me happy. Why didn't it work on here? I don't know. It's weird.
For all of Aaron's new friends, this is a treat to see Aaron before you even knew him.
Yeah, we rarely actually we don't get to chat with him a ton, and we don't get to see him a lot. So I'm gonna have to share my screen again. By doing this.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that picture. Fun. We did Beat the Room. Poor Aaron. This is when his back was really starting to get a little bad, and he was in a bit of pain there, but he stuck it through, and we did Beat the Room. And then I love this one. This was at Anthony's show. We went to Anthony, who was a host on this channel. We went to his last drag show. And that was my first ever drag show. I think it was Aaron's first ever drag show as well. And we had a freaking blast, let me tell you.
That was a very good time.
Our freaking blast. It was great.
That was our only KCP Productions like field trip together. Well, no, we did the two. We did the room and then the Anthony's show. I think it's funny because as many shows that we had, I think we all hang out together all the time, which is not the truth. We live in many different areas, so it's cool when we do get together.
Yeah, it's really nice when we do get together. Like Van, I've seen I think once this year.
Right, and we live
20 minutes away from each other, and I see Aubrey like every other week because we're almost done with the first episode, and I'm editing the second one, and I know it takes a while, but there's a lot more to it than I had ever expected.
Right.
To the gaming the new order. series, which is kind of like it's a role play game type deal. So, all right.
Let's get on to our next segment.
Our next segment is Guess That Character. Who is ready to guess the character that I have? Well, here you go.
There you go.
That's not the correct one.
Weird. There we go.
This'll work.
Skill down.
All right.
Easy.
Not too loud. All right. Chat. Who be this?
Oh.
Maybe you should probably know.
I'm gonna say
it's not Aaron. It's not Aaron Sokalski. Aaron's just as bad arse though.
All right, my guess is in the chat or is in the private chat.
Yes. You know what's really funny is everywhere I looked up online, no one spelt it the same way I did, but I spelt it the same way as y'all.
That's so funny. I was going to
say it is the armorer. So the armorer was a human female Mandalorian armorer and a Mandalore who led the tribe, a part of the Children of the Watch during the New Republic era. Following the Galactic Empire's Great Purge of Mandalore, she resided with the tribe in a covert on the planet Navarro, where she forged armor and weapons for her fellow Mandalorians. Now, the actress who plays her she's a great sport. Shows up at places like dressed up as the armorer and then like,
Emily Swallow.
What are you doing? Yes, she was her voice with it.
We did a show 4 years ago in Capitola in Santa Cruz. And that show, she was there at that show. She was just an amazing human being.
Mando Mama.
Yeah, it's funny. And I love how everybody got this one right. Usually, like, we're all like so way off. But
last week I really did hard ones. And this next one might be easy too.
All right, let's see.
Who do you think this might be? Yeah, last week I did just video game characters, and not everybody plays the video games. So.
I'm blanking on his name.
You're not gonna get. Say Wong says Vader. If you did not know, Aaron, that is Say Wong. The name C as Nable. Like I totally was thrown off for the longest time, wondering what happened to Say Wong. The Black Knight from Monty Python. 'Tis but a flesh wound.
I can't remember his name.
No, I'm not.
Oh God.
It's the. I don't know. I don't pay attention to rumors like that. Eric says part of the blockade. The
Viceroy, yes. Newt Gunray. That's who I was thinking of.
That is not who this is.
Is it not Newt Gunray?
No. 3, 2,
crap.
1. It started.
That one hurt. I love Nihilus.
Oh, sorry. So Nihilus was a human male who reigned as a Dark Lord of the Sith during the era of strife following the Jedi Civil War. Before becoming a Sith Lord, he lost everything during the Galactic Republic's war against the Mandalorian Neo-Crusaders. Haha, I got you well. When the Sith Lord died, which is something I did not know, his armor maintained his spirit and was collected for burial on the Sith homeworld of Korriban. Did I say that wrong?
That's okay. We'll go live like a Korriban.
Well, okay. Where I always try to make it sound fancier than what it really is. Where his soul could be contacted with a holocron of his own creation. And is that still true? Like to the current timeline most latest timeline we've seen?
Yes, he is the god. He is the Dark Lord of Hunger. He would eat the souls of planets and of people all around him. He is a super, super cool character. Was it Shadows of the Empire? I don't remember what video game series he came up with, but it was him, Darth Sion, and Darth Treya. Darth Treya was their master. But yes, Darth Nihilus is a super cool character, except for he has a really ugly lightsaber.
Knights of the Old Republic 2 was his original.
There we go. Good. This was a good one this week. Thank you.
Thank you. I was like, he's such a cool looking dude.
Yeah.
Cool looking dude.
That's another thing. Our fantastic host, Darth Cephalus, often does a Darth Nihilus.
Yes, he does.
Buddy Darth Nihilus and a Christmas Darth Nihilus.
Yeah, I can find a quick picture of one of those.
I know he in fact he does videos for the like 501st or something like that, dressed up as the Easter Bunny, Darth Nihilus.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, well, she
like literally his profile picture is.
Yes, literally his profile picture.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Cool.
Oh, well, I don't have Cindy's last name. While you were doing that, I want to remind everybody we have fantastic shows always. Our guest next week is a cosplayer. Her name is Cindy Everett. If you are a local in Northern California, you have probably seen her at a con or 2 or 7. In fact, I just saw her. I just saw her this last weekend in San Jose. So, what's up, Aaron?
Aaron cares.
Because
wait, before you do your thing, did you see my comment where I said you set your microphone to 48 kilohertz because you care?
No, I was just gonna say recordable moment here.
Hey, Rob's in local. Rob, hopefully we'll see you at a lot of conventions. And
I was born in Walnut Creek.
VacaCon this weekend, this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday in Vacaville. You can meet Mezzo and myself at the KCP, and we have really cool guests.
A single thing.
Carlos Sanchez was the guy who invented Wrecker and the Temple Guards for Lucasfilm. He will be at our table, and Morgan Summoner is a cosplayer. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yes, I will sign autographs too if anybody happens to want those. But hopefully Rob will see you locally. Yes, there's Metz's autograph.
And Ron.
It's awesome.
He does some fun video edits for our channel that have like little funny snippets. He came to the last convention that I appeared at, the first and only one so far for KCP. Wicked BlenderCon. He came as Murray from Stranger Things, and he looks just like him with his cosplay. I mean, just like you would have been like that.
If you guys have not seen it, make sure to check out Multiverse of Cosplay. With our buddy Elder Cosplay is what he goes by, but it's our buddy Ron. Yeah, I don't know that character from Stranger Things, but when he showed me the picture, I was like, holy! I would have thought it was the same person.
Rob says I may have run into one or two of you last year at Star Wars Con and Concord. I was not there.
We were there. Yes. We are Kyber Cave. We are the
Van's at like so many of them now.
Look at some of my new family meeting my old family.
Oh,
hi, I'm Mezzo. I'm Premiere Mobby. I showed Aaron a little bit about editing with Premiere Pro when he was doing gaming on the channel. So he engraved on my Premiere sons.
And I'm just the chaos in the crew.
He is Van's the crazy uncle that everyone tries to push up. Everyone's like, "Oh, Van's here," because you hear him going.
He's going to the party.
No, I wanted to like finish out on two things. One,
yes,
I owe an enormous apology to my friend Jason, who's part of our VO group, because I wanted to say that thanks to him, this incredible group of friends and I, at his efforts, put together a radio drama, an audio drama called Static Shift.
Oh, I saw it earlier. It was in the chat.
And that is his baby. And his casting, his writing is freaking genius. And the other thing I wanted to say, for the sake of recording, is every Sunday about this time, you can catch Saber Rattle right here on Kyber Cave Productions.
Yes! And Steve! Oh, no. Everyone heard it.
All right, clip that. Clip that.
I will. Honey, I know. Okay, brains. Hello.
And yeah, Rob, so Rob, you may or may not know, this will be okay. We've done 4. So I put on conventions here in the Bay. We did KyberCon 4. So KyberCon 5, we'll have to bring Aaron out as a guest, as a panelist.
If anyone needs a voice that does a decent Clarabelle the cow impression, or just an opera singer, let me know.
I mean, if you're gonna bring me all the way out there, you gotta get all of us. You gotta get Rob, you gotta get Jen, you gotta get Tiffany, you gotta get Jason, you gotta get me. We gotta be there all together.
You know what? Like, I might be able to afford to put gas in a car for all of you to come together. How about that?
KCP VO crossover.
Oh God! And you thought that the CW crossover was nuts.
Wait until you see KCP and Aaron's voiceover crew fam getting together and making some memories.
It's the Articulate Kyberverse.
Wow. And then Distance Nerding will be in there somewhere too. Oh man, this show
now we had to send that clip over to DN on the chat. Just that little tiny. I
apologize to everyone who is stuck around with us. Typically, the show is about an hour and 10 minutes long. But of course, with our buddy here, we had to have our little reunion. So I want to thank
everything. They'll tell you.
And
sticking around with us till the end of the show. You are all the best. Distance Learning, nice.
Yes, I have stickers.
Make sure to check out these Distance Learning on anywhere you can podcast to. Those are our show buddies. And Rob, hopefully we will see you soon since you're a local. That's super cool.
Yes, that would be awesome. Yeah,
come out to the show. We can take a picture like we did with Duran. That was super cool.
It was lovely getting to see Phil and James at Weekend BlenderCon 2. I hadn't seen them since KyberCon 3, I think.
Oh wow.
No, I saw James at KyberCon 4, but I was so out of it. I had hurt my back really bad last year in July. I went to the hospital by ambulance. And when I went to the con, I was supposed to be actually in New Jersey. So I wasn't even supposed to go. But I went for about 40 minutes and I was on some pain meds. And so I don't remember the entire time. But I was like, hey, wait, I met James. He was there. I saw James. Not that I met him. I met him already. I'm going to shut up now.
All right, let's get ready to close out the show, my dear.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure to tune in every Sunday at 7 p.m. about this time. That was my terrible impression. And on Monday evenings, we do have Graveyard on our show, our dear friend Graveyard, who makes retro Alcove videos and has a lot of he's got you should see his room. He should just do an official tour of it as a short or something for our channel because it is really spectacular. He's got a wall that says choose your weapon and it's all these old controllers, all of his retro stuff is pretty absolute awesome. Although I just realized that we have a Nintendo Labo that I didn't know that we had. You don't know what that is, right? Okay, never mind. That is also Labo. I said Labo. I know. I say everything incorrectly. Just goodness gracious, I have to have everything written out phonetically for me.
Cade Bane forgives you.
All right, have a nice show. Just kidding. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today and having some fun. We'll catch y'all later. Enjoy Talk of the Town.
Peace. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be. Oh, why did I sing it? May the Force be with you. Bye.
It's always with